He's waiting so patiently for me to take him out. So I figured today that we would just do a Q&A video. Answer some of the questions that have been coming up a lot lately in the comments. And but first, hey guys, look at this. We found a nice little spot here right on Lake Superior and in the corridor that we are. So we're just between Terrace Bay and Thunder Bay. There is an old section to Highway 17 that runs down on the bottom side of the new Highway 17. It's not a full, complete little road. There's broken sections of it. So if you can find the little pullouts, you can get to the little paved old Highway 17 road, which we're parked on right now. Amazing places to boondock. A little fire pit and stuff right there. So this is where we're going to be making home tonight. And I just, honestly, guys, want to have a super relaxing day. So I thought we would just do a Q&A.
I think I might be stuck on you. I love the things you did for me. For me, it seems that you're dropping clues. There's no need to rush, so let's just take our time.
You want to tell them? Hey, you want to tell them, Cruzy? So a lot of people ask questions about where the links are to buy certain products that are inside of my van, or Chrome, how do I find your DJ mixes online, or where is the Patreon links? And the reason why people ask these questions is I know some of you are watching on devices like a smart TV where you don't have access to the description down below. Now everything is on VANCITYVANLIFE.ca. So a lot of the questions that you have about items in my van or things like that are all right there, listed out for you. Super simple and super easy. So even right on the main page, when you click on it, there's a bunch of banners all the way down that page that you click the banner, it'll take you everywhere, to my Amazon store, to the list of every item in my van, to my DJ mixes, to absolutely everything is there in one place. And I created the website, well, me and Madison created the website, so everybody that doesn't have access to the description down below, or didn't know on their phone how to open up the descriptions on YouTube videos, because some people can't figure that out on their app, it's a tiny little button in the corner. But anyway, now you don't even need to look in my descriptions, because everything is at VANCITYVANLIFE.ca. Was that a question? It kind of. Let's get this question out of the way first, because it does get asked quite a bit. Why don't I put a high top extension on my van? Okay, so because I've never had a van or the ability to stand up in a van, I don't know what it's like. I don't know the difference. I started in this. I love my low roof van, and never once in 3 years, I'm on year number 4 right now in my van life, never once has it ever been frustrating to the point that I've been like, I just want to get myself a high top. I've never had that thought. So there's no reason to do any upgrades or anything to your van until it comes to be a point where it's a necessity. You see, I started in this thing. I love this thing. I love the height of it because it fits down the trail nice and easy on some of the narrower trails where the trees grow over the top. Just the van has been so perfect for my van life journey so far, and I'm not going to be doing an upgrade like that until I feel like it's completely necessary. So another one is the cost of it. There's one company, as far as I know in my research, called Fiberine in the US, that makes the mold for the extended version of mine. There's a Canadian company that has one for the regular version, but not the extended. So obviously mine's the extended. I would need that one. So Fiberine would be my option. So you're looking at travel time, downtime in hotel while you're down there, plus the nasty currency conversion between Canada and the US. So any prices that you guys see down there, add 30% more to it on top of that for me changing my money over. So, you know, I'm looking between $5,000 and $7,000 to do a high top extension. It's not worth it to me. So to me at that point, because I've been in my van for 3 more years, I'd hopefully love to be in this thing for another 3 to 5 more years, but who knows? So to me, when it comes to doing an upgrade like that, I would rather put that towards another van. You know what I mean? down the line buying something a little bit newer, because who knows what's in my future. So I just don't feel that the high top is a necessity. So on that note, for all those people out there that are like, well, I really want a high top, but if this is what you can afford, get into the short roof van. Man, I love this thing. And I'm not a small dude. I'm like 240 pounds. But I absolutely love my low roof fan, and it has never once been a problem. How are the batteries doing in my van? So I know you guys seen in a video recently that my battery was at 53% in the morning, but it's never been like that since I've been back on the road. Now that we're moving the van every single day, my batteries have been at 100% at least once every day. Well, being at Happy Camper Kits and the time I spent at Ray Outfitted, there were days my van wouldn't move for a week, and I was relying solely on solar power. And when the weather's crappy, there's no solar power coming in at all. Days like today are beautiful. My van's parked on a bit of an angle and the sun's kind of that way, so I'm getting pretty good solar here today. But that's not always the case. But since I've been on the move every day and getting alternator charging, no problems at all. And I was a little worried there because I was like, well, man, come on, man, getting up in the morning and it's 53%, not good. So it's not that my fridge pulls a lot. It's not that my heater pulls a lot. It's when I spend lots of time editing in the evenings can be a massive drain on my batteries. You see, my laptop, or any laptop, takes a lot of juice to charge. So I usually start editing with a fully charged laptop. Then sometimes when I'm like a 4-hour in on an edit, I need to charge it because my laptop's going dead, so I plug it in. And if I'm editing for another 2 more hours while being plugged in, that's a pretty substantial draw on my battery system. But that's the only time it's been a problem, is when I'm having very late nights editing. Other than that, everything else in my van would never tax my batteries that bad. So a lot of people were like, well, why don't you use your Jackeries for all those things? I could totally use my Jackeries for all those things. I have enough Jackery batteries in my van that I could probably feed my life in 2 other vans with my battery system plus the 3 Jackery batteries that I have. But that just wasn't the point of that video. I mean, I could easily go out, grab my Jackery batteries, come back inside and charge my laptop if it was ever the case that I needed it. So in that scenario, I just didn't need it. I woke up in the morning, it was at 53%. So I went for a few hour drive, got to see some of the countryside over there. I had a fun day. It was great. But yeah, in those scenarios, if I'm ever in the backcountry and I really need some more juice, I'll just start my van and go for a little drive in the backcountry and get some alternator charging power. Or I will just use my Jackery batteries for charging my laptops and things like that and save the juice in my van. But because we're back to normal life now, I'm back on the road every day, so we will never have a power problem. I highly doubt it. It's only when I sit still that we get lack of power coming in. It's no big deal. So yeah, and there's people that were asking, why don't I charge my big deep cycle batteries with my Jackeries? It would slaughter those batteries. If I plug my Jackery in, it would, like, it wouldn't do anything, guys. That's beyond the point there. I'd rather just grab the Jackery and use that to power my smaller devices or power my fridge on it. I actually am going to be making a video coming up talking about power in your van, because a lot of people got the power from the Jackery batteries a bit twisted, thinking that they're like the answer to everything when they're not the answer to everything. Some high power items require you to actually put a real battery system in your van, but we'll cover that in detail in another video. What other questions you guys had? Just trying to think. All these things are just coming off the top of my head of what some things that people have asked. Next one. Does my light bar whistle while I drive? The answer to that is no. And I've seen and heard a lot of people that when they put things up on the roof that they do get a whistling or a vibration from roof racks and things like that. I think those are very specific scenarios to them. Like the type of roof rack you buy. If it's got like a thinner metal and it could possibly vibrate, you're gonna get a vibration. Mine are rock solid. Those things have never made a whistling noise whatsoever. So when I put my solar panels on the front, everybody was like, oh, that's a bad idea. It's just gonna whistle. You need to put a wind guard on the front. I didn't, never had a problem. And then as soon as I put this in a video, putting the light bar, people are like, that's gonna whistle like crazy, stupid idea, Chrome. Not true. That thing hasn't made a single noise whatsoever. There is nothing on my roof that makes an ounce of sound while I drive, except for my flags in the back. I can hear my flags in the back sometimes when I'm sleeping at night and it's super windy. You can hear them flapping. It doesn't really bother me at all. But nothing up there has made a noise. So, and I know a lot of people that sometimes put roof racks up there and they get a vibration. So I think it all comes to the type of roof rack you buy, how solid it is, if the metal has a tiny bit of play where it can vibrate in the wind. So you just need to like take a look at the products that you're buying, you know what I mean? And really take a look at the structure. You think maybe this is flimsy. If it's flimsy, the wind might catch it and make it move. But mine, everything up there has been rock solid. And I think another factor that comes into play with what makes noise up there is also the aerodynamic of your van. Not saying mine's aerodynamic, but I think that makes the big difference up there is how the wind hits that light bar can make the difference on if it's going to make noise or not. So, hey, I just happen to luck out that nothing up there makes a single noise at all. Does my Wii Boost, that little black thing sticking up there, right there, how's my Wii Boost doing? Does it make things better and faster? Okay, so it's a cellular booster. So all it's going to do is give you a few extra bars of the current cell phone reception available. So right now where I'm sitting, we're on a 3G network, which is the slower network. So if I'm at 1 bar of 3G on a slow connection, it might give me 2 or 3 or maybe 4 bars of the same super slow 3G connection. It's not going to make things faster. It's not going to be a miracle. But if I'm ever out somewhere and I only have 1 bar, it might give me 2 or 3, giving me a stronger, more stable connection. So, I mean, like the Wii Boost thing's not for everybody. Me being a digital nomad out there, needing to have a stronger cell phone connection on some days could make the difference between me working that day or me not working that day, because I need the internet. So having a bit of extra data kicking around is super great. But yeah, it's not going to make everything faster. It's not going to be like a world of, oh, this is crazy. It'll just be awesome those days when you need a few extra bars. And it's also good for safety and security too, because if you're ever deeper in the backcountry and you only got 1 bar, you might be able to go a little deeper in the backcountry and still maintain the ability to text out or email a friend or whatever it is. So it's about a $500 upgrade. I can't remember what I paid for it. The links are on our website at VANCITYVANLIFE.ca. But it was a fairly straightforward install. You just run the antenna to the roof and plug it to a little box there and put the little black antenna on the inside and you're good to go. But it's not going to be like something that's going to like flip your world upside down. It's not one of those upgrades. It's a little extra convenience and have an ability to have a bit stronger cell phone. Now that we've got the fancy bed frame inside, the pull-out drawer with all the metal work underneath to support the drawer and the tires and everything else and the light bar, how much has it affected my fuel consumption? To be honest, I don't really know. My whole journey, I've been like, it's so much more fun to pay for gas and have some fun than it is to pay for rent and see the same view every day. So I've never really cared about gas. I just know some days that I'll put more gas in than others, but those days I usually travel out a bit more. I've never really gotten down to pinch the pennies on it. I just know that it's fun. Every time I have to put gas in my tank, it's fun. I know because that full tank's going to take me somewhere else pretty epic. So I've never really spent the time to hyper focus on that stuff. And if you're starting your journey off and, you know, money's a little bit on the tough side, you just got to like watch your gas consumption. That means if you're having a short money month, you just don't travel very far that month. Find an epic spot like we're sitting in now and park it for a day and move down the street and park it for a day and stay in an area for a lot longer than you normally would have. It's pretty easy for you to, you know, balance out your income in the van because it's all based on how much you drive. So for me, I've never really, not even from the very beginning, I was like, man, I'm not dropping $1,300 on rent this month. So if you look at it, that gave me a $1,300 budget in gas, and I don't spend $1,300 in fuel in my van. Maybe on trips like this one, yes, but for the most part, I never really track my fuel consumption. Not enough to notice. Like, I haven't noticed that, holy, whoa, gas is getting pretty pricey. So anytime you add weight to your van or add things like a light bar, things that are going to cause drag, sure, it's going to affect your gas mileage at the end of the day. affected to the point that you're really gonna notice it? I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna be to the point you're like, wow, man, I spent $1,000 extra on fuel today because I put bigger tires on my van. It's gonna be so small that it's not as noticeable, because I think at the end of the day, you can really fluctuate how much money you spend on fuel by how much you run around and travel and explore. So for me to add weighted upgrades to my van, fuel consumption has never been on my radar at all. I just put gas in it when it needs it, and I just drive around, you know? But I don't think it's gonna be that hyper noticeable unless you're the one that's completely writing everything down kilometer per kilometer, mile per mile, wherever you are, and penny pinching all of that. I think that's the only way you're gonna notice. If you're one to just put gas in it when it needs it, you won't notice the extra little weight differences. I know I really haven't noticed anyway. Does my window let in rain? So far, no. What's it been like having my window? Absolutely changed the world inside of the back of my van, because even now with running my new dry air heater, it's nice to leave that open and get that cool breeze above my head at night. But the cost on the window is about 400 bucks, somewhere around there, for something for the window, a couple $100 to install. So damn worth it. I can't believe I waited 3 years to put that in there. I should have did that in year one. I know I wanted to, but sometimes upgrades like that can be a little bit intimidating. You know, I don't know what the cost is or who to ask or anything like that. So don't be afraid to reach out to like an outfitting company. Luckily I met my friends Madison and Rainer from Ray Outfitted, and you know, having easier access to a builder to ask them a question is great. Hey, what's it cost to put a window in my van? And if I knew it was going to be fairly affordable, I'd have done it a long time ago. But so far, that thing doesn't let any rain in at all. I even leave it open sometimes a little bit when I drive, and so far no water's run down and in the window. I also have another subscriber of mine named Roman that has a window like that in his Sprinter van, and he leaves them wide open when he drives, and he goes, it never lets in rain at all. So far, so good. I really, really like having that there. And it's kind of nice because if I'm ever in a situation and I can hear a noise outside, all I got to do now is pick up my head and I can see right outside. Pretty cool. Mr. Cruz in one of his favorite spots, just chilling under the van. That's like his little safety spot. If there's ever a loud noise outside, boom, under the van. Something scares him, boom, under the van. I love it that he finds home like super safe. So I covered this one in a vlog the other day, but let's throw it in this video as well too. And that's, why do I have my fridge so it's only accessible from the back door? Why don't I just turn that thing around so I can access it from the inside? Like, I never thought about that. Because I enjoy having to go outside and grab something out of my fridge. I'm not one to open the fridge door all the time and take a look and shut the fridge door. I'm not that person. Hi, buddy. How you doing, Crazy? So, because I'm not that person, and I'm not a huge cook, you know? So for me to go in the back and grab a few things that I need to make dinner is no big deal. It's 7 steps from there to my fridge. And I can still access my fridge from the inside. I can't get down deep enough, but I can open it, get my arm around it, and grab myself a beer while I'm in there. Like simple things like that. Or if I want to give Cruz a slice of cheese, I can still reach it from the inside, even though it's accessible from the back door. So what I did in that vlog the other day, I turned it around. Now my fridge is accessible from the inside, and to be honest, I don't like it whatsoever. And every time I go to reach in there, I'm like, I hate this. I hate that I don't have to get out of my van to go outside, breathe some fresh air just to grab some stuff, you know? And I think those are some of the reasons why having a low roof van has never bugged me, is because I like getting out of my van. Like, if everything was so conveniently accessible from the inside and I never had to get out, I think I'd feel really confined in, you know, in a small space. But for me to walk outside, you know, stand up, get a bit of a stretch in, go to the back, breathe some fresh air, look up, feel the raindrops on my face, it's what I've always done. So the whole years I had my cooler, it was always backdoor access as well. I like it that way. It is what it is. So I'm going to give this a try a bit though. I'm going to ride this one out a little bit, because maybe this feeling is there because it's new, but I'm going to give it another week or two. And if I still can't stand it, I'm flipping it around, and that's the end of it. hopefully this answered some of your questions. And if you have anything you want to know about us and our van life journey and our van, please let me know in the comments down below, because I like making these small little Q&A videos. They're really easy to make, and it's nice to kind of get some of your questions answered all in one video. So as of January 1st, pressure's on now because I said the date. I am starting a brand new YouTube channel just for information and to answer all the questions that I never answer here on my channel, because this channel is more like a vlog of my everyday van life journey. Things I go, things I do, and the things I experience on a daily basis is what you find here on VANCITY Van Life. I would love to start putting all the simple talking videos and information stuff on a second channel. That doesn't affect my channel. I'll just be talking about things that I never talk about on my channel on the other one. So I will share all the links for all that stuff with you guys once it's all ready to go and done. I'm so excited for it. And some people have been asking me about my Christmas Eve meetup that I always have in Vancouver every year, where it's going to be, and if I'm doing it again. The answer, from the bottom of my heart, I hate to say this, but I am not doing my Christmas Eve gathering this year. Because of COVID and because me being a business, that's considered an organized event. And if we happen to go over the allowable numbers at an organized event, I face a very hefty penalty. My Christmas Eve gatherings have been gathering a large group of people. Like, it's crazy the amount of people. People were coming up from the States last year. It's been quite the success. And I feel heartbroken that I'm not going to be doing it this year. Because I don't want to face any penalties. Heaven forbid someone says that they got COVID from my event and then I face like whatever the $100,000 fine or whatever the crazy fine is. So yeah, I'm just for my own security, I'm going to avoid that this year. If there's vanners in Vancouver getting together somewhere, I'm definitely going to go pop by and hang out with everybody if people have a place that they're all going to get together, but I am not organizing an event of my own this year. So I'm sorry to everybody who's been coming to them every single year. Next year, please, COVID, be gone by next year so we can be back to normal doing meetups and gatherings and meeting you guys face to face. But until all this stuff is over, I'm not doing any organized gatherings or anything like that, because the last thing I want to do is to face the penalty for it, because I just could you imagine? You imagine getting slapped with like a $100,000 fine? What am I supposed to do with that? So I'm going to avoid that. Thanks. Anyway, you guys, thanks for watching today. Hopefully this answered some questions. And yeah, please ask away. Comment section, load it. Just get in there and ask all the questions that you want. See you guys soon, guys. Stay weird.